All right, guys, here we're going to talk about Attack of the Killer Chickens, the movie. 2022 is Attack of the Killer Chickens, the movie, Lee. Had you seen it before? Of course not! I know this.
I had not seen it before. It's baffling. There's a lot to talk about. We know a man who was in this.
Yes.
Not as well as I thought
I did not know that when we started.
Wild, wild stuff here, folks. We know more than one person in this, actually, but oh boy. Not really a movie, sort of just a thing that happened to us. So we'll do the autopsy. What do you have? Did you love this?
Well, I can't say I recommend it, but damn, there's a lot to talk about.
I think for the right person.
Yeah.
And you already know who you are, I think. But yes.
Yeah, I think, if you're looking at Attack of the Killer Chickens and you say, damn, I want to see that, and then you flip it over and you see the stills and you still want to see it, this is for you, and we're about to talk about it. So if you've seen it or don't care, false over to spoilers, and if not, pull out now.
If you need a place to rent content, you better listen. We're Cannibal Video and we eat the competition.
All right, so here we are for the spoilers of Attack of the Killer Chicken. Lee, let me hear the spoiler-filled thoughts.
This is the only film we've ever done that doesn't have a year on IMDb. I think they just didn't put it in right. I don't know what's going on.
So something that I noticed when looking up their IMDb is I accidentally looked up, there's a short that the same person produced that was 6 minutes long, and I was like, yes, that's what this should have been. I'm sure that would be great.
I think this is the short, just like
expanded upon,
repackaged. Because everything is so separated.
Well, the short was starring Edward X. Young.
And Grindhouse legend Edward X. Young.
Our boy.
The devil lives in all of us!
He's in it for roughly...
Yeah. Spoiler. If we're going to skip to the big reveal unceremoniously... his hair is dyed, and they integrate that into the... He looks totally different later on.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, because this is what you're filming now that you're making it into a whole thing.
I've even changed my hair for you.
That other random shot of Ed X. Young was the original short, I imagine.
That would be, that'd be
I'm not going to go confirm any of this, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
It lines up, whatever.
Yeah, I would assume his hair was dyed from filming a different project, and they just add that into the thing. Because a lot of it just feels like, okay, we just got to grab shots. I have a theory, and there's no information on IMDb to validate this.
There's no
and I didn't reach out to Ed to be like, hey, do you know anything? I could have. There's a part where our reporter person who has so much time in the movie.
Terrible.
Now, please be advised, the following contains graphic footage that may be disturbing to some viewers.
It looks like he's in a hotel lobby, and I want to say he's in the hotel lobby of a horror convention, maybe.
Some people have not heard anything about it. So have you heard anything about this at all?
Yeah, I have. I have heard a little bit of these little clucky fucks.
And just people walk by and they're like, okay, want to be in a movie? Chickens are attacking. Go!
Killer chicken epidemic that's been sweeping the nation that people have been talking about.
I don't know very much about it. Did you see chickens?
Yeah. No. So I didn't go all the way with it, but that scene's clearly random people being told, the chickens are attacking. What are your thoughts? And they just they're ad-libbing. It's like unprofessional ad-libbing to contrast with the professional ad-libbing going on in the rest of it. But yes, at a convention there, perfect. Makes sense
my
that
theory.
because it's against a beige wall. They must have just found a place to be
occasionally here. I think you see carpet and maybe an ice machine or a hand sanitizer thing on the wall, something that made me be like, no,
it looks like
this is a hallway.
It looks like something, yeah.
You have to listen to me.
Madam,
Give me this. Give me this. Listen to me. They're everywhere. You have to stop eating eggs.
But as we're revealing spoilers, we've also got the head of Trauma himself.
Lloyd!
Yeah.
The minute someone was talking about, his Trauma is a thing, or poultry guy, someone starts making some references, and I'm like, oh, they're gonna cut to Lloyd.
I'm vegetarian, and I didn't make Poultrygeist. That was Gabe Friedman. I had nothing to do with it. Please, help me. Oh, this is so clogged up. Oh, God.
Who's just gonna be vomiting back all the stuff that he was told in the limo ride over, and just go, it's a foul situation right here, and run around and stuff. I'm over it. Fuck all this shit. I don't like any of these people anymore. I'm done.
For me, it's mostly that the puppets are not actually interacting with anybody. We don't have any digital blood on most of these scenarios. It's just things are happening very slowly around people.
Yeah, no, it's rough, and I think that's supposed to be a part of it.
Chicken allocation. I can see
anything with chicken.
I agree, but I think you could have done this more like Thanksgiving, and it could have been amazing.
This is the opposite of Thanksgiving, where like they are just puppets just floating there sometimes, talking to people, and I'm like, it's floating. It's just 4 feet off the ground.
Sometimes it cuts wider and you see the feet just dangling.
What do we have? An orgy? Stay away from my asshole! Orgy of blood!
Literally, they're just floating, which is, I guess, supposed to be the joke, but I'm not even going to give them that much credit, where they know, oh, it's so tongue-in. This type of movie, okay? Do you know when you see like a thing, I've never been to one, but like Rocky Horror Picture Show, and everyone dresses up and they throw spoons or toast or whatever the fuck those people do. Drama kid shit. Not my scene. Not my scene. This is the thing where the audience is just full of all these people that had 90 seconds of screen time with all their friends, and when their scene comes up, them and their everyone cheers, but them and their friends cheer the loudest, and it's this big fun thing. Everyone's drunk or whatever they're doing. That's what this is for. I wasn't supposed to see this. What am I supposed to get out of this?
Hey, everybody! Hey, say hi to my mom. Say hi to my mom. She's right in there.
Hello, Mom.
Hey.
Now a word from Prime Minister John Dugan.
Yeah, so it's written, directed, and starring, and that's always like a sign of quality. And like it opens with like an Elvira-esque like
Genoveva Rossi.
Yes. Like it has a guy who's almost dressed up like Danny DeVito's character as like an art thespian guy from Always Sunny.
Crossed with the No More Capes person from The Incredibles. Yeah.
Yes,
really interesting. Really whack. Yeah. Where you're like, something's going on here. Yes.
Yeah, green screened, and I'm like, okay, video store
fake
stuff.
video store.
They
or
hold up. That I'm thinking that was the intro for the original.
Oh yes, this is going to be great.
Because they're holding the box to the 6-minute short, or just they had that physically around, and this was being made, so it didn't have the art yet. Yeah. Either way, it throws like thoughts into my brain for the worst.
Yeah. I think that a lot of this was obviously filmed for like the thing, but they are like referencing or like incorporating the short or the existence of the short in that way. Yeah. And this is almost a framing device where they don't know what to cut to sometimes, so they just cut back to her dressed in like a devil outfit, going, "Ooh, that was spicy."
Too bad. I really liked him. He reminded me of a guy I used to date in college.
And then it like cuts back and there's no like nothing.
But it's also cut her out of a larger section because every time she's like about to say something else and it cuts away.
Yes.
I had scars to prove it.
Yes.
Yeah, and like that could be part of the joke.
Yes.
But I don't get the vibe that it is.
No, they just were like, "Ugh, we've already cut 3 times randomly. We should probably do like an intentional looking cut." Yeah.
And that's what most of the movie is. It's just these like non sequiturs, just like like it is clearly a skit or movie being filmed, but the framing device being a reporter, like, and I think we've got some footage of, and then it cuts to like an actual movie, and you're like, what the hell is this?
It may offend some viewers. Let's take a look.
Hey guys, looking for a date?
Right, exactly. Like so the reporter's the framing device. Yeah. He sucks. He takes up. I mean, he's probably a lovely gentleman, but in this movie it sucks, and he's given way too much time. Like you said, we're always cutting to him, and yes, he's like introing what are supposed to be like skits, but they're just people sitting here like us. Like imagine this, and then a chicken comes up. And then like he starts killing us, and we're like, oh no, I'm being killed by. It's just doing this. And he's just like killing me or whatever. That's what the entire movie is. But it's only barely an hour long, so it doesn't even hurt that much. It's like 47 minutes long.
I do think 6 minutes would have been really awesome.
Exactly.
I think that maybe 15.
Or like a movie within a movie where you see the little clips, because there's right in the beginning there's like eggs in space and it closes up on one and it's like paper mache shitty, and I'm like, oh, it's like puppetry and goofy. I'm like, maybe this will be okay. And
but I think that's the problem. It doesn't lean into that enough. Like there's green screen malfunctions that I think are just errors. They're not fun things that like like the boom dips and hits him in the like type of shit. It's just like, oh no, he just moved too far to the right and now his whole shoulder just blinks out of existence.
The next footage is probably the most disgusting thing you'll see today, so please be advised. And let's take a look.
I didn't see that. That's awesome.
But like, just the trailing off is so funny. Like, we're about to watch the Attack of the Kid. And it just like fades off. Like, what?
I love chickens. And we're about to watch Attack of the Killer Chickens, the movie.
There's a bunch, yeah. It feels like, because they'll do like a fade or a thing or some transition or whatever, but you can tell they like barely have like enough footage to like try to make it work, and yeah.
I need to find Edwin.
It's, I think at some point, because it's very segmented, right? There's a lot of the reporter for a while. I guess he dies and stuff. But then they don't have any other framing device.
Yeah, so, for how you're cutting so much.
Yeah, so the rest of the movie is just this aimless cutting. And then they introduce a plot, which involves Ed X. Young creating a hybrid chicken. So chickens come from space, and they recruit Earth's chickens, and they're like fighting back and taking over. And Ed X. Young, who I guess we should also mention, we've met, and he's been in like films we've worked on and stuff.
I consider him a friend, yeah.
Okay, so like he's friends on Facebook at least. Yes, exactly. Yeah. For you more. Yes.
Well, he invited me to this premiere.
Oh my God!
I wish I should have mentioned.
Why didn't
earlier.
You go?
I forget what was happening. I had something else going on.
Yeah,
I was in Blairstown for the Friday the 13th, festival, and Ed was there, and like
you could have been in the movie.
Ed, and Ed, like, we sat down, we had dinner, and he's like tomorrow in wherever. He's like, oh, I have a premiere for this movie, right up your alley.
I was hoping it was like a horror festival thing, like 6 months earlier. So it's like you could have been in the movie. You could have hung out. I would have been interviewing people right there. Yeah, exactly. But yes, the space chicken. So like Ed X. Young eventually betrays the human race.
Yummy.
And this was actually twisted and interesting when he's wearing like the chicken suit and he's eating, raw human flesh to like try to fit in. But there's a graphic sex scene of him having sex with a chicken.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, puppet sex
is nice. No, I'm like, listen,
it's something.
You need to go for it in this type of movie. I hate when things are so restrained and they're like afraid to do certain stuff. I'm like, yes, do that. And he's making all these faces. I'm like,
oh yeah, give it to me, chicken, baby.
I'm like, yes. And then later when he came back with different hair, I'm like, oh, you're not as good.
You need that raw, unadulterated Ed.
You've lost something. You're too well put together now.
For a moment, he tricked me because the darker hair, and he's wearing a chicken costume. So I was like, all right, note guy dressed like chicken.
I am one of you. I have pledged my loyalty to you.
And then I was like, ... and dressed like chicken.
I did the same thing where I was like, that's not the same guy. This like opera singing, blonde-haired Japanese hooker, whatever it was. Yeah. I was like, what?
I want my money back.
For a blowjob? From yesterday?
What's happening?
And that's that theater kid aesthetic.
Yeah.
Like,
oh shit.
I do agree.
Damn.
One part had me like laughing when a guy burst in like a sliding door. It's like, that pecked my fucking eyes out.
Chickens are back on my goddamn mind! Oh my God!
Oh, and they're like dangling in his face. Yeah, some fun stuff like that.
But it's married with like random lesbian like things, like our star actor, director, writer, whatever is playing many parts in this movie.
This movie really stinks. What?
And I think a lot of that is probably just because it's a low-budget movie and you don't have access to many people. Oh, well, I could play this part, I could play that part. I have different wigs. We can make this happen.
Good as the fortune teller, honestly.
You were wise to come to see me. This is big. You have the child.
Yeah, I think her IMDb says like known for playing fortune tellers or like some really weird specific thing.
Hey man, find your niche.
When you're already in a movie and like your name says like starring, directing, whatever, like I personally have a pet peeve about like too many names in the credits, like type of a thing. And like even when people are great, like too many
of the same name in the credits.
Yeah, even having two can be a bit where like you would prejudge a movie.
Well, and like how many movies do we talk about where one of us will say to the other, oh, well, like this is written and directed by this guy. And it's like, oh, is it? We didn't know, right? Because you didn't notice. And in this, it's impossible not to notice.
No, yes.
It's very much in your face and you're like, ugh.
They took her. They killed her. I found her. I swear, that's how it happened.
right? And it's kind of like, it is what it is. I'll be extremely charitable, but yes, that means that any like, jokes that don't land or like scenes that had, barely come together, you just think of her and you go, that's your fault because this is your thing, right? So, right, it has a weird, yeah.
I think less would be more in this. I do think the short would be fun. I think that this, just because of the nature of it not being a movie, like, it's not a movie. It's just many things lumped together. Like, it makes it feel even more like a cash grab when it's like, same name, same name, same name. This is not a movie.
Money laundering,
multiple things
scam.
just linked together. Okay. And those things can be done well, and I have watched movies like that where I'm like, I am pleasantly surprised you did this great. Like The Battery having the same actor. That was really good.
And even if it's not a movie or a good movie, it can at least be this thing where it's like, oh, well, you needed one person to make all these decisions, or otherwise other people would have been like, no, don't do that. That's too far. Stop it. So you sometimes you want someone's unadulterated vision of like punching through of like, no, it's exactly the way I want it to be. It's crazy.
When a vision is good, it's very good.
You're gonna kill you all.
No, and like I said it condescendingly before, but like, yes, I support people getting together and fans of horror, fans of like weird exploitation, cult, whatever you want to call it, films, making their own things and enjoying them together. I just don't want to watch them. Okay?
No, and I do think the same people could make something that I would really like. Yeah. Because you can do the same technique, which I think is invaluable if you're making a low-budget movie. Okay, we're going to film all these things over the course of a year. We can spread them out because they're not even related. And you could have done that same thing, like the puppet sex scene, like where you're like, okay, you went hard here.
I am the plumber. I have come here to lay some pipe.
Dear me.
The guy getting his eyeballs pecked out, like those little types of things. You could do those and make them attainable to do, because it might be hard to do that, knock out 10 of those sequences in like a 3-day period, which, like, I imagine this whole thing could have been filmed. It could have been filmed in a 24-hour period, honestly. But
for a competition? Yeah.
But I do imagine it was filmed over the course of 6 months, pick up shot here and here. And by the nature of that, you have the ability to do so much more, especially when it's such a loose string. You can pull in your friends. Oh, what are you good at? What are you good at? Oh, make that happen.
And to keep trying to like dig myself out of this hole is like, like when you're making a movie and like you like film a scene and you're like, well, that wasn't good enough. I'm not going to use that, right? But that's not happening here. These are friends and like acquaintances, and it's the guy who did the thing. Every now and then there's a scene where there's two of like the hillbillies tied back to back.
All the chickens would behave this way all of a sudden. Why do they hate it so much? Oh God, Jesus, baby, Jesus, why?
The one guy with like long hair who's like doing stuff, I thought his performance was good, but like it's very hit and miss. There's random people where it's like this person's not an actor, or like, why is that random thing there? Is it funny that this random thing's there? Well, not really. Okay, maybe it'll pay. Okay, it doesn't pay off. They're all dead. Never mind. Like it's
a classic movie maker mistake where like you're like, as the filmmaker how long it took to film something. So you're like, I want to show all of that, but really 3 seconds is all I need. And like this to hit an hour, we could have shaved off 45 minutes.
I'll get it for you. Just don't hit me. Don't hit me, please. Please.
Well, that always sounds so damning, but it's like, no, like some of it lands, some of it works, some of it's fun, right?
I think you could,
and when you heard it short, you're like,
you're not cutting out plot, it's all just loose, so you could cut out any fat and make a really successful short.
I think that the decision to have a plot is actually like a bad, like it takes away in that last third of the hour, right? Of the 53 minutes or whatever. The last third sort of drags because now you're in one place for too long. Things happen. You kind of want that. Like a movie like this, by the end of it, I should forget. I'm like, oh yeah, the robots. Then wait, was that? Did they even? Oh, were that like even though it's like so short, it should be bombarding you with so much stuff that by the end you've forgotten even the premise. You're just like, wait, what? And you're on this wild ride.
And end on a high note. Like that half man, half chicken, that was horrifying.
My beautiful son! A new species is born!
All natural though, no.
All natty.
Also, he calls him the missing link
between humans and chickens. In fact, you may be The missing link. Yes.
And his name is John Link, which I assume is a pseudonym because no one wants their name attached to this.
So I also have a question, which is important. Whenever you can get a question from a movie, I think they've done something correctly. Now,
they've gotten the juices
because
flowing.
of what we have here and many people playing multiple parts. I was confused, and I wonder. I'll pose this to you: is the half man, half chicken not Ed X Young's son? Is he the guy that had the affair because it looks like him and is probably played by the same guy?
It isn't what it looks like.
Oh my God!
Is that his son and just played by that guy?
Clucking.
Oh my God! Yeah, because he has long hair, and I think this movie's logic, states that also he claims, oh well, you weren't satisfying her enough, so I had to come in. That's not my fault.
I need a word with my chick. You clearly weren't keeping her satisfied, and that isn't my fault. I'm just a guy trying to survive in this crazy chicken world.
Yeah, that guy. Is that the same guy, though?
I don't know.
Okay.
The beak threw it off. I couldn't tell.
No,
it's also probably a year later, so who's to say?
But close enough. Yes, there's something to that.
All right, so that indeed is not the same actor, but my theory still holds. So I reached out to Ed and I said, hey, what do you think about this? And he said, I'd like to think of the late John Link, that is the actor who plays the Chicken Man hybrid, as my son, even though he was 12 years older than me.
Right? I like that. We found a plot. It's a tale of like the generations and like, oh, he has to claim his livelihood and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, only slept with your mother, but she reminds me of you.
So you mentioned references. The reference that stood out to me was they do the Warriors thing and like that's very kind of.
I don't even do the. It should have been 3 eggs, like eggshells,
or a finger in each chicken, and it's.
Oh, right, something like that.
Oh, humans, come out and play, yay!
Then they do the divine thing, for no reason. Or just eating cat shit.
I blocked all that out. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
But that's I don't.
So there are references where it's oh, this is funny, but then there's I'm just taking a part of a movie not in a the context wasn't there, especially for the divine one. It's just oh look, crap.
Look at that. Kitty left mommy a present.
I'm eating it.
Right, which is, I don't even think that's what the divine thing is. Isn't there a reason to do that? I'm eating shit.
She's literally the most disgusting human ever.
Yeah.
I haven't watched a movie in quite a while, but in that movie, at least the person's actually eating shit. This person's, it's toffee or something.
It's like a Tootsie Roll that someone flattened.
Kill everyone now. Condone first-degree murder. Advocate cannibalism. Eat shit.
Something like that. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of things where things happen and you're kind of was that the whole reason that character was there? I guess. I don't know. We've moved on now.
I think there's a character from a different movie. At one point, it's what was his name? John Wayne Gacy-looking clown.
It's okay. She's in a better place now.
What exactly happened to Jill anyway?
Out of nowhere.
And I think that they did a movie with that exact character. Hey, we're filming that now anyway. You want to film a scene for this?
Ever since you were born.
Oh, that sounds kind of gross.
Okay, because I think that same dude plays the banjo player later, but I'm.
Good family, no radio, no TV, and lots of good food.
I think that same dude also plays the lady later that is having the affair with. Is that the same person? I don't know.
I don't know.
What is this, Amish paradise?
We have you now, strange owl.
But yeah, that was one of those things where that to me is borderline. That's so wild that maybe it's funny because it's so wild and out of nowhere. But yes, the fact that it's not integrated.
Well, there's something to making movies for your friends and for I'm sure they have an audience that watches all of their things and in their local form
where they will see and go, oh, it's that guy.
And those jokes are all well and good, but they for an outsider, it's like, the fuck is that?
Exactly. That's what I was saying before. I imagine a lot of these people, sometimes, like you said, the camera, like we spend so long with someone where I'm like, who is this? Why are we here? They can't act. And they're like, oh, well, that's the guy who produced the short film with the puppet guy with the, it's a doll. He's that. Don't you know Devin Badarowski or something? I'm like, no.
This person paid to advertise their band.
That's Richard Donahue.
I'm on TV?
Yes, you're on TV, sir. What is your name?
Anthony Rodriguez from the Accelerators of Union, New Jersey.
Okay, Anthony, can you tell our viewers here at home?
Yeah, or fucking like the patrons or something, the $1,000 patron tier or something like that. It's one of those. It can't be. You can't have said this is what I want in the movie, right?
My gun is an extension of my penis.
And then he licks it.
Yeah.
But like a lot. He doesn't lick it like an actor. He licks it like a man.
I want some pizza and I want some beer.
Beer? Yeah, beer will do it. Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
At one point, they're watching the TV, and it's like green screened or whatever, masked to have the reporter on it, and it's whatever shot. But I noticed that there was tape, like masking tape, and I want to know what you think.
Okay.
Did they tape on a green thing, or is this just a TV that hasn't been fully like taken out of the box yet? Because you know when they come with that like plastic sheet over it.
Now, remove the screen protector.
It could go either way.
Where someone was like, okay, you can use the TV, but then once you're done with it, it's my TV and I'm taking it, so don't touch it, don't take the things off. Just use this. Because you can see the little like tags like on the edges and stuff.
I could go either way on that.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. I do love when people think that like oh, I'm going to mask this on there. I need to make this green. Like it makes it no easier.
That's what I'm saying. Either way,
for a
it's
non-moving object.
Yeah, it's like confounding.
Yeah.
And it's a decent shot because they have their heads, and then past their heads they have the TV. So you're like, oh, okay.
So we mentioned a decent shot. Let's immediately now talk about a very undecent shot. And I'm not going to bring up like how bad the audio is.
I thought you were going to have your own decent shot. We're going to be dueling shots.
Well, that'd be unfair.
Okay, go ahead.
There's only one.
You already did.
There's a part where a guy's wearing like a wig and a beard and like a fake mustache to the guy, and I'm just like, what is this?
We like to show all the new girls what we got back there. I saw you walking in, you looking real good. You tell her what we're gonna do.
Like whenever I see those things in movies, it changes the grade of the movie. And I don't mean like, oh, it's an A or a B, like in my like grading system. I mean like I now know if ever I was doubting, is this a movie?
Yeah.
Well, that's not a movie.
You are no match against me. I will kick your ass and mop the floor with you, chicken.
Yes.
Like, what is that? And you're not above having the same character play 15 different characters, so are you just trying to, like, does that guy not want to be in the movie? Because he's like Captain Caveman, like, you can only see a little part of his face, like, I'm like, what is this?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because
like a ninja of gray bearded hair.
Yeah, because it couldn't have been, no, like, I think a lot of this, the dialogue and the presentation is someone said, this will be funny, and they were like, yeah, whatever, do it. And they just did stuff, right? Which is like cute.
It's like fun. Grabbing things out of the prop box at a wedding and being like, "We're making a serious movie," and like that's not a thing.
But that's what these people want.
Yeah,
they want that prop comic. Okay, give me a place. Okay, occupation. Yes, okay, dentist at the zoo. Okay, and here's your prop. It's a big right. That's what they want.
That's what that feels like. Yeah.
Don't you love it?
Nah, I had one plot hole thing that I thought, and maybe I just misheard, and I of course
Please
don't
pump the
rewind
brakes.
anything.
The what hole?
So I placed my theory upon their man-love child. I do believe in the first part when Ed's smoking a cigarette after like having sex like in the bed, don't they mention that he has a kid with her already?
I still love you. Yes, I love you still. And our baby chick.
I could have sworn that there's something about a child, and maybe that's something that's from the short, and they just were like, no one will notice, and didn't cut it out.
You mean with the chicken?
I thought that's what they said.
Oh, interesting.
I could be wrong.
I could be wrong.
I will take full responsibility if I'm incorrect here, but we'll find out.
The only thing I can contribute to this is that I believe that right as they're cutting and you can't quite hear it, Ed screams like, "Oh, you like that cock!" Or something, because it's like a chicken cock joke,
course.
Whatever. Yeah, exactly.
Very witty.
Oh. One part, I'm not going to say that it made me laugh, but I thought it was like, because at first I thought she was just, so there's the part where she's like, oh, like, are you okay? To like, and it's this like pink purple wig.
Jill? Are you okay?
Talk to me.
That looks, I don't even know if it's the same wig. And at first, it looks like she's just talking to a wig. And I'm like, okay, it's not a movie, whatever. And then she turns it around and it's a skull. It's an actual like fake skull with that same wig on it, which we've not, like they're not chickens from space with ray guns. There's nothing that would like disintegrate a person.
All of the flesh off her body.
The flesh, exactly. I'm
no,
like,
that part made me chuckle. About as much as when
it's really early, so I thought like, okay, we're
setting a
hey,
tone,
we're, like we're having fun. That's what we're gonna do. Yeah.
I chuckled at that, and then I chuckled at my own comment when watching it. When Ed like walks in and there's a guy with his chicken wife. I'm like, oh, he got cuck-a-doodle-dude.
Oh.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
If you want to support the show, head over to cannibalvideo.com, pick up some merch.
And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's something.
Whatever.
Fuck these motherfuckers.